Hola! Hello, welcome to our Spanish lesson for today. You're going to be needing some equipment for this lesson. First of all, you'll need some paper to write on and a pen or a pencil to write with. You're also going to be needing a little toy, something that you can throw and catch easily. I'm going to be using my Squishy World to do it with. So if you don't have that equipment in front of you, pause the video, go and get it, and then come and press play when you're ready to continue. Okay, have you got those things? Then let's continue. Now, we're starting a completely new unit today, and the first part of that new unit is learning some new numbers. We are going to be learning how to count all the way up to 39, and we're going to be practicing also using those new numbers out of sequence, so not in the order of when we count. First of all, then, we're going to have a revise of the numbers that you already know. You already know the numbers from 0 to 15. And we're going to be learning today how to count up to 39. How many new words do you think we're going to need to help us to do that? Have a think about that while we're practicing. How many new words are going to be needed to take us up to 39? So let's practice then the numbers that we already know, 0 to 15, and you're going to need your toy for this because we're going to do throw and catch once for each number, and we're going to see if we can throw and catch 15 times, but of course with 0 as well, that makes 16 times. So are you ready? Have you got your toy ready? Count with me. Here we go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Did you manage it without dropping the ball? I nearly did once. I hope you didn't notice. Let's try it once more. Get your toy ready. Here we go. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Did you manage it? Fantastic. Let's have a look at some new numbers. We're going to start with these four because they all share the same pattern. Have a listen to them and see if you can work out how these new numbers are made. 16, 17, 18, 19. Have another listen. 16, 17, 18, 19. Can you hear anything familiar in those numbers? Hopefully, you've heard some numbers that you already know. So 16, for example, starts with 10. What number is 10? That's right, it's 10. Then we have E for and then 6. What number is 6? 6. So 16 is saying 10 and 6. What do 10 and 6 make? They make 16. So these four new numbers are made up of numbers that you already know. So here's the example of 18, 18. So it's made of 10 for 10, E for and ocho for 8. Now, over time, these words have got squashed together into one word, and there's been a spelling change. So instead of ZY for the phi sound, we have CI, which is much neater. So 18 is 18, all one word, but it's made of 10 and 8. Let's just have a practice of those new numbers. Escuchad y repetid. 16, 17, 18, 19, 16, 17, 18, 19. So there's our first four new numbers. Let's have a look at the next new numbers. The next new numbers that all follow the same pattern are 20 up to 29. Have a listen, see if you can work out how these numbers are made. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Have another listen. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Have you worked out how those numbers are made? That's right, we get the word for 20, 20, and we put it with the ones that we already know. So 21, we take 20 for 20, E for and again, and then uno on the end. 21. Again, over time, those three words have got squashed up into one word to make 21. And then we just swap all the different ones into that word for the other ones. 21, 22, 23, and so on. So our first new word is 20 for 20. Let's just have a practice of saying those numbers. Escuchad y repetid. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. That leaves us with another 10 numbers, this time from 30 to 39. Have a listen, see if you can spot the pattern. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Do you think you spotted the pattern? That's right, like before, we get the 10 word. This time it's 30 for 30. Then we put E for and then we put the ones on at the end. So 31, 30, y uno. The only difference is this time they stay as three separate words. 30, finger space, y, finger space, uno. So we've come across our second new word, haven't we, which is 30 for 30. So to count all the way up to 39, we actually only need two new words. And we've seen that the numbers up to 30 are just one word long, but from 31 onwards, it's three separate words. And in fact, that pattern of three separate words continues up until 99. So let's have a practice then of these final new numbers. Escuchad y repetid. 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. There we are, all the way up to 39 with only two new words. So let's have a try of the first chunk of new numbers. So have you got your toy ready again? This time, we're going to practice counting and using our toy to help us from 16 to 29. Are you ready? Here we go. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. You see how it goes? Let's have another try. Starting with 16. Here we go. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Did you manage it without dropping your toy? Well done. Let's add those last 10 numbers. So we've got a bit longer to go without dropping our ball this time. Let's see if we can go all the way from 16 to 39. Are you ready? Here we go. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. Great counting. Let's have a practice then of counting from 16 to 39. You're going to see the number that we're saying in yellow as we say it. Are you ready? Here we go. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. How did you get on? Let's make it a bit more tricky, shall we? Here are all of our numbers now from 1 to 39, because of course we don't ever just count from 16 to 39, we always count from 1 to 39. So we're going to use our toy and we're going to see if we can count from 1 all the way up to 39. We're going to be stitching together the two sets of numbers that we already know. Now, I'm going to give you a little warning. When you get from to 15, changing from 15 to 16 is a bit tricky because you have to change pattern. You have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, but then 16 onwards, 16, 17, 18, 19. The teens have two different patterns, and we have to remember to switch when we get to 15. So, got to concentrate really hard, not only on the numbers, but of course also on your toy. So, are you ready? From 1 to 39. Let's see how we do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. How did you get on? Did you manage to count all the way up to 39 without dropping your toy? That's something that you could practice in your own time to get really good at these new numbers. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of counting and writing. In other words, using our numbers out of sequence this time. So what you need to do is to get your piece of paper and number 1 to 8, because there's going to be 8 different questions. Just pause the video while you do that and then press play when you're ready to continue. Okay, have you numbered 1 to 8 on your piece of paper? Now, what you're going to be doing is counting some shapes and writing the correct number word as your answer. So let's just have a count of these dogs. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So how many are there? That's right, there are 18 dogs, and 18 is 18. So you're going to count the shapes, find the number in Spanish, and then write the Spanish number word as your answer. So here's the first one. All you need to do is to carefully count those trumpet shapes. When you've worked out how many there are, have a look at the numbers at the bottom, find the correct number word, and write that in as your answer. If at any point you want to pause the video just to give yourself a bit more time to work it out, that's absolutely fine. Let's move on to number 2. And remember, you can pause it at any time to give yourself a bit more time to work. And here's number 3. Coming up is number 4. And here's number 5. And then number 6. And now number 7. And finally, number 8. Okay then, have you got 8 number words written down, having counted really carefully? Before we move on and check the answers, I would like you just to check your spelling of those Spanish number words, because can you see that from 16 to 39, lots of those number words have got either EI or they've got IE. There are some of them, like 27, that have both EI and IE, and we need to make sure that we have those letters in the right order. If we don't have them in the right order, we're going to change the sound of the word. So just pause, have a quick check that you've spelt those words as correctly as you possibly can, and press play when you're ready to check. Right then, let's have a look at the answers. So number 1 was 24. Number 2, 39. Number 3, 17. Number 4, 20. Number 5, 23. Number 6, 28. Number 7, 32. And finally, number 8, 35. If you need any more time just to check your answers, pause the video and then you can press play when you're ready to continue. So well done today. I hope you enjoyed learning some more numbers and now being able to count up to 39 with only 2 new words. Muy bien. Adios. See you next time.